personal reasons. They are absent again tonight as well. It is rider replacement once again at number 1. So barring a major upset, Västervik are heading almost certainly for the playoff final, where they will face either the reigning champions Leonen or Eskilstuna Smedena, who clash at Gislaved, the home of Leonen. The Lions this evening in the second leg of their semi-final. Eskilstuna Smedena taking a 10-point lead into that one. They won last week in their first leg by 50 points to 40. We will keep you up to date as best we can on the score from over at Gislaved. We're shortly getting underway then with the first of our 15 heats here at Västervik. Sizable crowd in attendance. A couple of team changes from last night for the Västervik side. Tom Brennan was absent last night. The British rider was racing for his UK club, the Ipswich Witches, at Bellevue in the Premiership playoffs. He returns to the side tonight, and Bartosz Śmiektała comes in as well at number 7. The men to make way for Västervik, Patrick Voidelo and Matthias Nielsen. They are rested this evening, while Indianerna are unchanged. The same 6 riders that took part last night. It is rider replacement once again at number 1, with Patrick Dudek unable to ride this evening. And it is rider replacement for him, so his teammates will substitute for him in his 4 programmed rides. It will be rider replacement at number 1. Krzysztof Puskowski and Dimitri Berger led the scorers with 10 and 8+2 respectively in last night's first leg. Rasmus Carlsson, the Swedish under-21 champion, goes at number 3. Reserve Jonathan Gran, who failed to score last night, will captain the side. Californian Luke Becker will be one to watch, and 18-year-old Bartosz Banbor, only his 4th appearance of the season for Indianerna, lines up at reserve. Peter Johansson is the team manager for visitors Indianerna, while for Västervik, Freddie Lindgren and Robert Lambert both scored faultless maximums yesterday at Kumla. Tom Brennan back in the side, so Mads Hansen moves up to number 2. Good to see Anton Carlsen in the side as well. Had a nasty crash in Heat 10 last night, piled into the turn 4 fence in a tangle with Bartosz Banbor. Bartosz Śmiektała comes in at number 7 for the rather changed Västervik side, managed by Morgan Anderson. We are almost ready for action here in front of a sizable crowd. It's been a sunny day here in the east of Sweden. A large crowd in attendance. The track has been well watered ahead of the first of our 15 heats. If you are viewing Speedway for the first time, you are very welcome indeed. The way the meeting works, there are 2 teams of 7 riders, 2 riders from each team in each of the 15 heats. The home riders from Västervik wear red and blue crash helmet colours for identification. The away riders from Indianerna wear white and yellow crash helmets. 4 laps of the just under 300 metres circuit in a heat, so a heat lasts just under a minute here at Västervik. Very quick fire indeed. It's 3 points for a win, 2 for second, 1 for third, nothing for last or for failing to finish. It's all about scoring as many race points as possible. Västervik will try to run up the score. Indianerna trying to close the gap. Last night's meeting ended Indianerna 31, Västervik 59. So Västervik almost certain to qualify for the playoff final, which will be on the next 2 Tuesdays. They will face either Leonen or Eskilstuna Smedena, the winners on aggregates here this evening. Riders racing 500cc single-cylinder methanol-fueled motorcycles. Only a single gear on each machine, no brakes. The tagline of Speedway: no brakes, no gears, no fear. It's all about throttle and clutch control on a Speedway machine. So we see Robert Lambert, the British Speedway champion, mounting his machine, getting ready for heat number 1. He'll be in the red helmet colour, partnered by Mads Hansen, the Dane in blue, who's recovered from back injuries sustained earlier this season and has really improved since his comeback. He picked up paid 10 points last night for the visiting side on that occasion, Västervik. Well, Robert Lambert won 5 races out of 5. Just awaiting confirmation on who the rider in white is going to be for this one in place of Patrick Dudek. I believe it may be Dimitri Berger we're going to see out in white for heat number 1, the Frenchman. And in yellow it will be Krzysztof Puskowski, the oldest man in this meeting at 39, the Polish rider. Yes, looks like it is Dimitri Berger, the Frenchman, out in the white helmets, the former world long track champion back in 2019. One of France's leading riders over the last few years, along with David Belago and the Trezariu family. Matthias Trezariu winning the World Long Track Challenge to qualify for the World Championship last weekend. See the race suit colours as well, the home side in yellow and blue for Västervik, the away side Indianerna in predominantly black. So it is Dimitri Berger confirmed off gate number 2 in the white helmets for heat number 1, replacing the absent Patrick Dudek. So the inside gates will be Mads Hansen in the blue helmet, the 24-year-old from Denmark, World Under-19 champion back in the 2017 season, perhaps the biggest honour of his career so far. Has had a fantastic, if limited, season this year due to those back injuries sustained earlier this year. Berger goes alongside him in white. Gate 3 in the red helmet is Robert Lambert, and Krzysztof Puskowski goes off the outside gate in the yellow helmet. His 3rd consecutive season with Indianerna. Perhaps the biggest honour of his career, a couple of Team Under-21 World Championships, Speedway of Nations 2, but that was back in 2006 and 07. Riders settle into line then on this well-watered track. Pegger Svedberg is your referee, with his finger on the button ahead of the first of 15 heats. Västervik versus Indianerna, the second leg gets underway with heats number 1. Good start by Mads Hansen from the inside in the blue helmet. Dimitri Berger tries to go with him. Not the best of starts for Robert Lambert. He'll try and get round the outside on the back straights. There won't be a lot of grip on the wider line in the early stages, but Robert Lambert doesn't care about that. He's straight round the outside of Berger. And well, Västervik are picking up exactly where they left off last night. They finished the meeting last night with 3 consecutive 5-1 heat advantages. Going to be another one here by the look of things, with Mads Hansen leading the way. Lambert in 2nd place. Berger is 3rd. Krzysztof Puskowski, who was the top scorer for the home side last night, Indianerna, with 10 points, is at the back away from home here. Mads Hansen leads the way. Then he had 2 race wins in the yellow helmet last night. He's out in blue here for home side Västervik. And while Västervik looking to very quickly seal their qualification to the grand final, and then turn their attention to the meeting at Gislaved to see who their opponents will be in that grand final. The win goes to Mads Hansen in blue, 2nd for Robert Lambert in the red helmet. Dimitri Berger 3rd in white, at the back in yellow Krzysztof Puskowski, and a 5-1 to open the evening here at the home of Västervik, the Helia Arena. The blue and yellow flags will be flying at the end of this heat number 1 as Lambert and Hansen head round in celebration. The aggregate score goes up to 64 points to 32 after the 16th of the 30 heats over the 2 legs of this semi-final. The action not yet got underway at Gislaved, the match between Leoden and Eskilstuna Smedene. We'll update you on that as and when we can. No problem for Mads Hansen. Gate 1 working well in the early stages. And Robert Lambert, well, we said the outside line might not work as well in the early stages, but for a Grand Prix rider, Robert Lambert, currently 8th in the World Championship standings, was the World Championship silver medalist last year. No problem at all getting around Dimitri Berger. Been performing reasonably well in the European Championship this year, but it is a 5-1 to the home side in our opening race. 3 points for Mads Hansen, 2 in a bonus for Robert Lambert, 1 point for Dimitri Berger, no points for Krzysztof Puskowski. Västervik 5, Indianerna 1, 64-32, the aggregate score. Perfect start for Västervik then, as they look to make their way into that grand final pretty much as quickly as possible. The 4 reserves out on track then for heat number 2. One rider we didn't see in last night's meeting was Bartosz Smektała, the Polish rider out in the blue helmet here, replaces Matthias Nielsen in the hosts lineup this evening. Had a relatively quiet season this year, racing for Poznan in the Polish 2nd tier, the 2nd Extra Liga. Helped them to 5th place in the table this year, has appeared for Grinstedt in the Danish league, and has ridden 11 matches this season for the Västervik side. Been rather in and out of the side when Tom Brennan has been available. There is the rider in white. That is Jonathan Graham, the skipper of Indianerna this evening, with Szymon Wozniak, the regular captain, absent. He's partnered in yellow by Bartosz Banbor, the 18-year-old from Poland, was on the podium in the recent European Under-19 Championship at Grudziądz in his homeland, which was unfortunately affected by rain. The track was very uneven on that occasion as Bartosz Jaworski raced to the title. Rasmus Carlsen competed in that meeting as well. His teammate this evening finished 9th. So it's Banbor off the inside in yellow. He made some quick starts in the first leg yesterday, but only picked up 3 points. He often made the gate and then went backwards, still gaining experience of Swedish venues. First season in the Bauhaus-Ligan. Gate 2 in the red helmet, Anton Carlson. Good to see he's okay after a big wallop into the turn 4 fence in yesterday's meeting. Thankfully, none the worse. He picked up a couple of points last night. There in the white helmet is Jonathan Grant. He failed to score at home last night. Let's see how he gets on away from home. And completing the lineup in blue is Bartosz Schmechtawa. Now, his opposite number, Matthias Nielsen, who was riding for Västervik last night, picked up 2 race wins, got 6 points. Let's see if Schmechtawa can better that here this evening. So Banbor, Carlson, Grant and Schmechtawa for the reserves race, heat number 2. 5-1 the score in this second leg. Will it be 5-5-1s in a row for the home side? Well, a super start by Banbor. We said he was a quick gaiter, and the man in yellow has shot into the lead on the first turn. But here comes Bartosz Schmechtawa, his fellow countryman around the outside, takes the lead into turn 3. Now let's see what Anton Carlson can do. He's been struggling with a collarbone injury sustained here at Västervik early in the season. Has had to have some surgery on his broken collarbone. He's recovered now. He's up there in 3rd place ahead of Jonathan Grant. Is it going to be back-to-back scoreless meetings for the stand-in skipper of Indianerna? Bartosz Banbor holding 2nd place. Schmechtawa is away out in front. A bit out of shape there, Carlson in that 3rd place, but he holds the place ahead of Jonathan Grant, who made his British League racing debut in the championship with the Edinburgh Monarchs this year, of course, alongside fellow Swede Victor Palavara. Looks like it's going to be a 4-2. The run of 5-1s is going to be broken, but it's going to be a dominant win for Bartosz Schmechtawa in blue. His first ride of this 2-legged playoff semi-final. He takes the win. 2nd in yellow goes to Bartosz Banbor. Anton Carlson is 3rd. And Jonathan Grant finishes at the back. So that's a 4-2, 9-3 the score on the night. 68-34 now the aggregate lead for Västervik. Of course, once they are past 90 points, they are safely in the playoff final. We'll wait to see whether they will face Leonen or Eskilstuna Smedner in next week's first leg. Bartosz Banbor absolutely flying starts, but his meeting already following the pattern that last night's did, making the start and then couldn't quite hold on in front as Bartosz Schmechtawa, multiple Polish league champion with his former club Leszno, now in the 2nd tier with Poznan. His career has rather stagnated over the last couple of seasons, it has to be said. And Bartosz Banbor, one of the new young hopefuls of Polish Speedway, this never-ending school of talent in Poland, finishing in 2nd place. It's Västervik 9, Indianerna 3, 68-34 on aggregates. Heat number 3 on the way next. Another of our maximum men for Västervik from last night was fast Freddie Lindgren. The man currently battling for that 3rd place in the World Championship. Didn't have the best of days at Wrocław in the most recent round, fighting for the bronze medal with Great Britain's Dan Bewley in this year's Grand Prix standings. The final round, of course, coming up at Vojens in Denmark this coming weekend. Freddie Lindgren will partner Tom Brennan, the British rider. Had a decent night for the Ipswich Witches at Bellevue last night in a cracking meeting in the Premiership playoffs. Tom Brennan coming in tonight for Västervik in place of Patrick Voidilo, the Polish rider. He picked up paid 4 last night. In white, it's Rasmus Carlson, the Swedish under-21 champion. Only 17 years of age. He's got a big future ahead of him. And the 2nd appearance of the night for Dimitri Berger in the yellow helmet. He's on 1 point, replaced Patrick Dudek earlier on, now into his own programmed rides. He goes off the outside in yellow. Tom Brennan's biggest win on British shale this year was the Ben Fun Bonanza meeting, the annual charity season opener held at Oxford. Brennan also represented Team Great Britain in the European pairs this year, finishing in 4th place at Daugavpils, partnered with Adam Ellis, as Denmark took that title. 9-3 the score, 68-34 on aggregates. This is heat number 3. Lindgren, Carlson, Brennan and Berger, they're underway. And it is the Västervik pairing who make a superstar. Fast Freddie leads into the first turn. Going up high is Tom Brennan. Through the middle comes Dimitri Berger, up into 2nd place in yellow. Now he has the advantage of having already raced once tonight. He knows where the grip is, where the best line to take is. Tom Brennan holding off. Rasmus Carlson chops across his front there into turn 1. So good battle on for the minor placings at the moment. Fast Freddie Lindgren looking for 2 maximums in as many meetings. Out in front in red, multiple World Championship podium finisher, won his 5th Swedish national title this year. Outscored in the qualifiers by Kim Nilsson of Rospiggan-Evertse, then went on to win the final. Dimitri Berger up there in 2nd place, the flying Frenchman, pulling clear of Tom Brennan in 3rd. So it's going to be a 3rd consecutive heat advantage to Västervik as they continue their demolition job over the 2 legs on Indianerna. Freddie Lindgren is who takes the win. Dimitri Berger in 2nd, Tom Brennan 3rd, holding off Rasmus Carlsen. So another 4-2 in the book. 13-5 now the score on the night. 72-36 the score on aggregate. So Västervik now with double the score of their opponents, Indianerna, in the aggregate standings. They lead the way by 8 points on the night. No problem at all for Fast Freddie there. Lightning start by both Freddie and his British teammate Tom Brennan, who went a little bit too wide through turn 2. Dimitri Berger able to go between Brennan and Rasmus Carlsen. Carlsen trying to get up the inside into turn 3. Tom Brennan able to fight back on that wider line and slam the door on Rasmus Carlsen into the 2nd lap, and was able to hold his 3rd place from there. So 3 points for Lindgren. Dimitri Berger moves on to 3 from 2 rides. 1 point for Tom Brennan. Rasmus Carlsen at the back. 3 heat advantages in a row for Västervik. They lead by 13 points to 5, 72-36 on aggregates. The action has got underway at Gislaved. I can tell you it's currently Leon and the reigning champions on 7. Eskilstuna are ahead on 11. So if it stays like that, Eskilstuna are heading into the playoff final. They won the 1st leg, of course, by 10 points. Heat number 4 then, off the inside gate in white, it will be Luke Becker, the Californian rider, another man who's bounced back from back injuries sustained at the start of June in Poland, the Californian. And he really has bounced back in style. He's helped the Leicester Lions win the Premiership Knockout Cup in the UK. It was announced today that he has re-signed for Indianerna for next season as well. Next to him in blue, that is Jakob Torshäll. We've seen some lively meetings for him this season. He was Mr. Consistent last night with 5 second places from 5 rides. 10+3 was his final score. Gate 3 for this one in yellow, it's Bartosz Banbor on 2 points and Anton Carlsen in red, completing the lineup. He's on 1. So Torshäll and Becker will be the 2 to watch here off the inside 2 gates. The 2 reserves should be scrapping for the minor points, the consolation point in 3rd. 13-5 the score then. Becker, Torshäll, Banbor and Carlsen off the outside. The tapes go up very quickly and away they go. Decent start by the rider in blue. Jakob Torshäll hits the front. The former Swedish champion leads as they go into the back straight. It's Luke Becker up into 2nd place and battle is joined between the reserves. Carlsen up the inside into turn 3. Tries to force the issue on Bartosz Banbor. He's got to run on the inside down into turn 1. I think he'll get through into 3rd place. Banbor cuts it back again. Very close for the minor placings, allowing Jakob Torshäll to escape into the lead in blue. Torshäll leads 2nd place in white. It is Luke Becker. Is it going to be 4 heat advantages in a row? 3 4-2s in a row for Västervik. Bartosz Banbor trying to fight back. Anton Carlsen holding that 3rd place. He's a good, consistent reserve rider. Always does a solid job. The number 6 tonight for Västervik, holding off Bartosz Banbor. All about that battle for the minor placings. Anton Carlsen, the 24-year-old from the town of Västervik, but it's his teammate Jakob Torshäll who's heading for victory. Becker will come over in 2nd place, and Anton Carlsen does take 3rd. 3 heat advantages, 3 4-2s in a row, 4 heat advantages in a row then. Lead is now up to 10 points on the night, 17 points to 7. 76-38 the aggregate lead. That playoff final place is getting ever closer for Västervik. They haven't had a last place yet. They've had all 4 race wins. And that's 17 race wins over the course of this 2-legged tie so far, because Indianerna on their own track were only able to win 2 heats last night. Jakob Torshäll, sequence of 2nd places is broken. Made a perfect start from gate 2 across the front of Luke Becker into the first turn. Initially, Bartosz Spanbor had that third place as they went down the back straight, but Carlson up the inside into turn 3. Becker going wide, looking for grip, but he didn't find any. Decent battle in the early stages there for second and third place. It was very close between the two reserves. So 3 points for Jakob Torshäll, 2 for Luke Becker. Anton Carlson moves on to 2 with a pair of third places, and Bartosz Spanbor remains on 2 points. 4 heats gone here at the Helia Arena. It is Västervik on 17, Indianerna on 7. The aggregate score 76-38. Where they left off last night in the first leg at Kumla, they are dominant once again. 4 heat advantages in the first 4 heats. They lead by 17 points to 7, 76-38 on aggregate against Indianerna as we get ready for heat number 5. Bartosz Spanbor off the inside gate in blue for the home side. He's on 3 points, 1 heat number 2. Gate 2 in yellow, third ride in 5 heats for Dimitri Berger. He's on 3 points. Gate 3 in red, another winner first time out, Mads Hansen. He took heat number 1. Gate 4 in white, it is Jonathan Grahn, the stand-in skipper of Indianerna. He has yet to score over either leg of this playoff semi-final. Looking at the score from Gislaved, 4 heats gone there. It's Leonen 10, Eskilstuna Smedena 14. So Eskilstuna Smedena, as it stands at the moment, would go through to the grand final. A surprise there in heat 3. Bartosz Smarslik, the world championship leader, beaten in heat 3 by Smedena's Gleb Chugunov. So I think a surprise result there. We'll keep an eye on the action over at Gislaved as best we can, but we're almost ready for heat number 5 here at Västervik. Can they make it 5 heat advantages out of the first 5 heats here this evening? We're about to find out. The revs rise and away they go. Decent start by the riders off the inside. It looks like it's Bartosz Spanbor who will lead the way into the first turn. Watch from Mads Hansen around the outside in red. He's up into second. Well, this is turning into a demolition job for Västervik. All the fight seems to have gone out of Indianerna in the early stages here. They knew they were up against it with Wozniak and Patrick Dudek missing. Dimitri Berger and Krzysztof Puskowski led their fight last night. But Västervik already set to head to the playoff final. And they will try and run up the score as best they can. Remember, once they're past 90 points, that will confirm when they are through on aggregates. Spanbor leads Hansen, Berger in third, Jonathan Grahn, the skipper of Indianerna, at the back. It's going to be 2 out of 2 for Bartosz Spanbor, the reserve. He didn't ride in last night's first leg, but he's unbeaten after 2 rides in the second leg. Mads Hansen unbeaten by an opponent as well. Berger in third, and Jonathan Grahn finishes at the back. So Bartosz Spanbor unbeaten moves on to 6 points. Mads Hansen on to 5+1. And the score now on the night is 22 points to 8. And the home side edging ever closer. They now lead on aggregate by 81 points to 39. Well, it's difficult to see any way back here for Indianerna, even if they get 5-1s all the way. I think Västervik are now assured of getting into that playoff grand final, where they're facing provisionally Eskilstuna Smedena. Second 5-1 of the evening, Spanbor on 6, Hansen on 5+1, Dimitri Berger on to 4, Jonathan Grahn yet to score. It's Västervik 22, Indianerna 8, 81 points to 39 on aggregate, and with 10 heats to go, even if Västervik concede 10 5-1s, they will still pick up a minimum of 91 points. Västervik will look to put the lid on it then and qualify at a very early stage for that playoff final here in heat number 6. The lineup we'll see off the inside in yellow, Krzysztof Puskowski. He's yet to score. Gate 2 in red will be Freddie Lindgren. He's on 3 points. I believe it's Luke Becker coming in for the rider replacement ride for Patrick Dudek in white. Indeed it is. He's on 2 points, beaten first time out by Jakob Torshäll. And Tom Brennan will complete the lineup off the outside. Made a bit of a mistake on the second bend of the first lap of his first ride, dropped behind Dimitri Berger, and he is on 1 point. Well, Västervik can qualify as early as the 21st heat of this 30-heat two-legged semi-final. We knew that Indianerna would be up against it, missing their top two riders, Patrick Dudek and Simon Wozniak. But I don't think even Västervik expected it to be quite this one-sided, I have to say. Heat number 6 then, Buskowski, Lindgren, Becker and Brennan is the lineup. Start Marshall walks away, heat number 6 is away, and Buskowski gets away well on the inside in yellow. Lindgren's going to go for grip around the outside. Fast Freddy takes the lead. His former Wolverhampton colleague Luke Becker's there, and up the inside, well, diving up the inside there. Tom Brennan throws it at Luke Becker, and he's up into third place. I think that's what car racers call full send there going into turn 3. Becker's fighting back on the inside. It's Tom Brennan is up into third place, now going for the outside on Krzysztof Buskowski. Lindgren is away and gone. Second place in yellow is Krzysztof Buskowski. Can Tom Brennan get up into second place? Well, a 4-2 here will surely be enough to see Västervik through even at this early stage on aggregates. Away goes Freddie Lindgren. Second place it is Krzysztof Buskowski. Brennan will have a look up the inside by the look of things on the final turn. Aggression there in the early stages from Tom Brennan. He's not quite going to get alongside. Lindgren wins it. Buskowski comes over in second place. Third goes to Tom Brennan. Luke Becker finishes at the back, the rider replacement ride. That's 6 heat advantages in a row then. 26 points to 10, the lead margin. It's 85 points to 41 now on aggregates. So Västervik are heading for the playoff final. Freddie Lindgren getting around the outside of the fast gating Krzysztof Buskowski, but Tom Brennan there, perhaps he was frustrated at going wide again on turn 2. He just sent it up the inside. I thought he was going to send Luke Becker flying. Where did you come from, said Luke Becker as they went through turns 3 and 4. And then Brennan going after Krzysztof Buskowski. He couldn't catch the experienced pole. A good battle there in the early stages for the minor placings. Freddie Lindgren is still unbeaten by an Indianerna rider over the 2 legs of this tie. He's on 6 points. Krzysztof Buskowski opens his account on 2. Tom Brennan is on 2 points. Luke Becker remains on 2. It's Västervik 26, Indianerna on 10. And on aggregate 85 to 41. So Västervik now cannot be caught on aggregate with that 4-2 as the onslaught continues. We go into heat number 7. Robert Lambert looking to keep up his unbeaten run over the 2 legs of this tie. He partners Mads Hansen. They took a 5-1 first time out. It's Dimitri Berger going off the inside in yellow. He's having a busy night already into his 4th ride in 7 races. He's on 4 points. Gate 2 in red, it's Robert Lambert. He's on 2+1. Gate 3 is Rasmus Carlsen in white. He's yet to score. And Mads Hansen off the outside on 5+1, unbeaten by an opponent so far. A paid win behind Bartosz Schmecktower in heat number 5. Rasmus Carlsen, one of Sweden's up-and-coming young riders, and they need some. Sweden have lagged behind, it has to be said, on the international scene in recent years, certainly in team competition. Not too many riders to match the calibre of Freddie Lindgren, Kim Nilsson and Oliver Berntsson as well. There has been a gap in the Swedish national team, certainly since the retirement of the great Andreas Jonsson a few years ago. And not a huge amount of young talents coming through to international senior level. 26-10 the score then as we go into heat number 7. The start marshal has them into line. Revs are up and away they go. Watch for Robert Lambert in red off gate 2. He's made a perfect start ahead of Dimitri Berger. Mads Hansen will go for the outside coming off turn 2. Berger able to hold second place though. Dimitri Berger's form has been the one slightly bright spot for Indianerna over the 2 legs of this tie. Rasmus Carlsen having a go there up the inside. Away goes the rider in red, Robert Lambert out in front. Second place, Dimitri Berger. Mads Hansen in third place. Trying to close in is Carlsen at the back. It's looking like another 4-2 at the moment. They'll be completely safe, of course, when they're past 90 points. This will put them on to 89 on aggregates. So away goes Robert Lambert, looking for another maximum this evening. Dimitri Berger at least able to mix it with the Västervik riders. This is going to make it 7 wins out of 7 and the three-quarter distance over this two-legged tie. Robert Lambert takes the win, Berger second, and the rider in blue, Mads Hansen, does hold on for third place. Another 4-2 in the books then. 30 points to 12 now the lead margin after 7 heats. That makes it 89 to 43 on aggregates. So Robert Lambert looking for a second maximum in as many evenings as is Freddie Lindgren. Jakob Torshäll's yet to be beaten as well, although he's only taken 1 ride. And well, this is a demolition job by Västervik now, to say the least. Robert Lambert's dominant once again. He moves on to 5+1. Dimitri Berger is on 6 from 4 rides. He managed to get up the inside there off turn 2 to hold off Mads Hansen, who dropped back. He's on 6+1 now, beaten by an opponent for the first time this evening. And he had to work to hold off Rasmus Carlsen, who tried his hardest there, to give him his credit, but has still yet to score after 2 rides. He almost got alongside there on the run to the line. Well, 7 heats gone. It's Västervik 30, Indianerna on 12, 89 to 43 on aggregates. Riders up the tapes for heats at number 8 here at the Helia Arena in Västervik. The home side lead Indianerna by 30 points to 12, 89-43 on aggregate in this Bauhaus-Ligan playoff semi-final. Heat number 8 sees Tom Brennan off gate 1 in blue. He's on 2 points. Gate 2 in yellow, it's Bartosz Banbor, also on 2. Gate 3 in the red helmet, Freddie Lindgren on a hat-trick, going for 3 out of 3 on 6 points. Gate 4 in white is his former teammate in the UK at the now sadly closed Wolverhampton Wolves club, Luke Becker. He's on 2 points so far. Was relegated to the back by an aggressive attack from Tom Brennan in Heat 6 when he was in his rider replacement for Patrick Dudek. Let's see if Luke Becker's out for a bit of revenge here. It's been the inside gates working the best so far. I've only had 1 winner from gate 4 on the outside. That was Bartosz Smektała in Heat 2. Luke Becker starting off the outside this time. Well, Indianerna haven't had a single race winner tonight. They only had 2 at home last night. Ready for heat number 8 then. Freddie Lindgren starts as the favourite in the red helmet. Hasn't made the best start this time. It's Tom Brennan, his teammate, who leads around the first turn. Lindgren will just go for drive around the outside of Bartosz Banbor. But Banbor keeping pace with him there down the back straight until they got to turn 3. The young Pole is certainly one to watch for the future, but couldn't hold off fast Freddie. The Grand Prix man who's been on the World Championship podium several times in his career, as has Robert Lambert. 3 bronze medals and a silver for Freddie Lindgren in recent years. Lindgren now takes the lead from Tom Brennan. Well, this will put it beyond all doubt. Freddie Lindgren looks like a bit of trim has fallen loose from his bike there, but it's not slowing him down. Banbor and Becker are behind. Luke Becker struggling tonight. And well, the Indianerna pairing reduced to fighting each other for third place pretty much, because it's going to be another 5-1. It's going to be 8 heat advantages out of 8 tonight for Västervik. The win goes to Freddie Lindgren, second for Tom Brennan. Becker does come through for third place. And Bartosz Banbor at the back. That's the third 5-1 out of 8 heats tonight. Västervik lead the way by 35 points to 13. But more importantly, they have passed the magical 90-point mark. They are now confirmed as in the playoff final. On aggregates, it is now 94 to 44. They lead by 50 points on aggregates already, and there are still 7 heats to go in this playoff semi-final. So Freddie Lindgren is unbeaten so far, 3 out of 3 for the Swedish champion. Tom Brennan is on 4+1. It's Brennan who made the start from the inside. His teammate getting around the outside of the quick gating Bartosz Spanbor, who briefly showed in second place down the back straight until Lindgren threw it round the outside. It was Luke Becker who eventually came through for third. He's on 3 points, and Bartosz Spanbor remaining on 2. So 8 heats gone. Västervik 35, Indianerna 13, 94-44 on aggregate. Västervik are through to the playoff grand final over the next 2 Tuesdays. Looking at the other semi-final at the moment, it's Leonen 17, Eskilstuna-Smedena 25. So Eskilstuna-Smedena looks like they are going to be Västervik's opponents in this year's grand final. Incidentally, for Leonen, Bartosz Smarslik has been beaten in both of his opening rides. Michael Jepsen-Jensen beat him in Heat 6, so perhaps Smarslik playing it safe ahead of the grand final coming up of the World Championship this weekend. We get ready for Heats number 9 then. Jakub Torshäll going for 2 wins out of 2 off the inside in blue. It's Krzysztof Brzykowski, gate 2 in yellow. He's on 2 points. And now Västervik will just try and run up the score over the final 7 heats. Gate 3 in red, we will have Anton Carlsen. He's on 2 points. So waiting to confirm who's replacing Patrick Dudek in white here off the outside. I think it will be Bartosz Spanbor who comes in here, because Brzykowski is already in the race. Rasmus Carlsen has yet to score. No, it's Dimitri Berger in for a second rider replacement ride, so he must be in as a tactical substitute with Indianerna so far behind. Manager Peter Johansson plays the tactical substitutes. It won't make any difference to the result now, of course. But Dimitri Berger does come in to replace Patrick Dudek, this time as a tactical substitute rather than rider replacement. Taking on Jakub Torshäll and Anton Carlsen. 35-13 the score. This is heat number 9. They're underway. Torshäll makes a perfect start from the inside. There's a clash there on the outside. Berger left absolutely nothing at all. I thought he was going to be shoved into the fence by Anton Carlsen, who now goes for the inside on Brzykowski. He's trying to do the same thing to Brzykowski into turn 3. Anton Carlsen, goodness me, aggression there around the first lap. Brzykowski gets some lift. Up the inside comes Carlsen. He wants a paid win as well. Up the inside, he's into second place past Krzysztof Brzykowski, who fights back up the inside into turn 3. Well, this is more like stock car racing than Speedway in this heat number 9. Brzykowski's back ahead. That'll fire up Anton Carlsen to attack back again. Well, there's been great racing for the minor placings in some of our heats tonight. Jakub Torshäll's away and gone in front. He's heading for 2 wins out of 2. Brzykowski is back up into second place. Well, Indianerna perhaps going to go down fighting here this evening. They were the lucky losers in the quarter-finals, of course, getting through as the 4th out of the 6 teams in that mini-league. The win goes to Jakub Torshäll in blue, second for Krzysztof Brzykowski. Carlsen fought hard but takes third, and Dimitri Berger fired wide on the first finishes at the back. Good to see a handshake there between Anton Carlsen and Krzysztof Brzykowski, so no hard feelings between that pretty hard race in heat number 9. The sequence of heat advantages continues, though. It's a 4-2 once again for the 6th time in 9 heats. 6 4-2s and 3 5-1s so far. 39 points to 15, Västervik now lead. And by 98 points to 46 on aggregates. Well, Jakub Torshäll missed out on all the fun there. Anton Carlsen sending Dimitri Berger almost flying on the first turn, and then did the same to Krzysztof Brzykowski into turn 3. Nearly a crash-bang wallop first lap to our heat number 9. Carlsen getting through up the inside through turn 2 into second place briefly, so Krzysztof Brzykowski played him in his own game into turn 3. Great stuff. Brzykowski fighting as hard as he could there. So 4-2 the results of heat number 9 then. Torshäll unbeaten on 6 points. Krzysztof Brzykowski onto 4. Anton Carlsen 3 third places. And then completing the finishes was Dimitri Berger, who was lucky to get round that first turn. He remains on 6. It's Västervik 39, Indianerna on 15. 98 plays 46 after 9 heats on aggregates. We get ready for Heat number 10. Robert Lambert and Bartosz Śmektar, both unbeaten by an opponent. Luke Becker will look to do something about that in yellow. And off the inside in white is the stand-in skipper, Jonathan Grahn, who just wants to score a point here. Not going to be 6 scoreless rides, surely, for the captain of Indianerna. Gate 2 in blue, Bartosz Śmektar, contrasting reserve scores. He's unbeaten so far. He's on a hat-trick. Mattias Nielsen was likewise last night as well at this stage of the meeting, but he finished last in Heat 8 to end his unbeaten run. Going off gate 3 in yellow, it's Luke Becker, only 3 points to his name so far. He's only taken 1 point off an opponent, beat Anton Carlsen in Heat 4, his first ride. But off the outside in red, it is Robert Lambert. As we mentioned last night, the winner of the Heat of the Year may be in Speedway, the grand final of the British final at the National Speedway Stadium in Manchester. It really was an amazing race, that one, with Lambert just defeating Charles Wright of Oxford and Redcar on the line. Charles Wright getting the wild card for the British Grand Prix. As a result of that, Lambert is already a Grand Prix rider. For how much longer? He has to get into the top 7 to qualify automatically from Voyens this Saturday. Well, heat number 10 gets underway. Can Śmektar make it 3 in a row? And it's Jonathan Grahn making a start. Gate 1 working well again, but by turn 2, Västervik are once again 1 and 2. Lambert and Śmektar, just no holding them back tonight. Going for the inside is Luke Becker. Grahn's gone from first to last. Now, can Luke Becker get ahead of Bartosz Śmektar? We could yet see 4 home riders score maximums tonight. Incredible. Only Tom Brennan, Anton Carlsen and Mads Hansen have dropped points for Västervik so far. This could potentially be the biggest win seen in any Bauhaus-Ligan match this season. Out in front, it's Robert Lambert. Śmektar up there in second. Now, this is his final programme ride, so unless he's picked for a nominated race at the end of the programme, of course, the team managers nominate the lineups for heats 14 and 15. Śmektar is going to end up with a maximum. Lambert's going to take the win. Śmektar in second place, Becker third. And Jonathan Grahn may have made a good start there, but he's going home completely scoreless from both legs of this semi-final tie. 4th 5-1 of the night. That's 10 heat advantages in a row tonight. And 14 in total, because it was a 4-2 and 3 5-1s for Västervik to end last night's first leg as well. Incredible. Well, they've of course sewn up the win on the night as well. Västervik already with 5 heats still to spare with that 5-1. 44-16 they now lead. On aggregate, it's now 103 to Västervik and 47 to Indianerna. Jonathan Grahn made a decent start there, but then Västervik simply went either side of him out of turn 2. Grahn briefly in the lead, then Lambert outside, Śmektar inside, and Grahn was soon in last place behind his teammate Luke Becker. This, it's fair to say, is an absolute massacre here in Västervik this evening. Lambert moves on to 8+1, Śmektar on 8+1. He's completed his programme rides. You might see him in a nominated race though. Luke Becker is on 4, no score for Jonathan Grahn. It's Västervik 44, Indianerna 16, so they've sewn up the win on the night. They've long since sewn up the win on aggregate. 103 points to 47 is the aggregate score after 10 heats. The blood moon is rising over the east coast of Sweden. There are 5 heats to go here at the home of Västervik at the Helia Arena. Already confirmed the home side as heading through to the Bauhaus-Ligan playoff final in 2025. As we get ready for heat number 11, we have a change in white in this one. Bartosz Banbor coming in to replace the scoreless Rasmus Carlsen. Banbor, good to see, being given extra opportunities here in the Swedish league. His first season in the Bauhaus-Ligan this year, so he'll line up off gate number 1 in the white helmet for heat number 11. Gate 2 in blue, it will be Tom Brennan. He's on 4+1, including a paid win last time out in heat 8. Gate 3 in yellow, it's Krzysztof Puskowski. He's on 4, and Jakub Torshäll will go off the outside, going for 3 wins out of 3. One of 4 unbeaten riders so far in the Västervik setup tonight. In Incidentally, after 10 heats at Gislaved, it is Leonen 24, Eskilstuna Smedene 36. Now, even if Leonen get 5-5-1s over the last 5 heats there, the maximum they can win by is 8 points. As we know, Eskilstuna Smedene won the first leg last week by 10. So by my calculations, Eskilstuna Smedene are just about safely through. And that means the playoff final this year is provisionally going to be Västervik versus Eskilstuna Smedene over the next 2 Tuesday nights. We don't know who will race the home leg first. That is to be announced once the qualifiers are complete this evening in the semi-finals. Well, there is Krzysztof Buskowski. An aggressive battle with Anton Carlsen last time out. To his outside it is Jakob Torshäll. We have just had our first winner from, our second winner from Gate 4, I should say, which is Robert Lambert in heat number 10. The track is freshly watered during the interval. And we are ready for heat number 11. Banbor off 1, Brennan off 2, Buskowski off 3, and Torshäll's got the outside. We're underway. Tom Brennan with a super start from Gate 2 leads the way into the first turn. Watch for Torshäll around the outside. He goes into second place as the Indianerna pairing almost trip over each other going into turn 2. And once again, we see Västervik pull away. This could potentially be the biggest win in the Swedish Bauhaus-Ligan in any match this season. Absolute dominance from Västervik this evening. Buskowski in third. Banbor is at the back. And flying in formation out in front. Jakob Torshäll on the inside. Tom Brennan on the outside. Is it going to be 15 heat advantages? If they take one here, it will be 15 in a row. Counting the last 4 heats from last night's meeting. And incredibly, over the 2 legs, Indianerna could be walking away with only 2 heat advantages from all 30 heats, a pair of 4-2s last night. Tom Brennan is going to take the win in heat number 11. Second in red goes to Jakob Torshäll, so he's still unbeaten by an opponent. Buskowski third, and Bartosz Banbor finished at the back, so the reserve switch didn't work. It's another 5-1 for the home side. They lead now by 49 points to 17. 108 to 48 on aggregate. They are 60 points up on aggregate now. Tom Brennan heads around, flag in the air. He moves on with his first race win of the evening to 7+1 from his 4 programmed rides. Jakob Torshäll is unbeaten by an opponent on 8+1. See there a bit of contact between Buskowski and Banbor on the second bend there, but by that stage the home pair were already clear. And the slaughter continues, sadly, for Indianerna. You have to feel for them. With no real recognised number 1 tonight at all or last night over the 2 legs, with Dudek and Wozniak missing. They did well to get into the semi-finals. They were the lucky losers, effectively, from the quarter-finals, going through at the expense of Dakana by a handful of race points. So Brennan moves on to 7+1, Torshäll 8+1, Krzysztof Buskowski's on 5, Bartosz Banbor on 2, Västervik 49, Indianerna 17, 108 plays 48 on aggregate. Heat number 12 coming up next. Freddie Lindgren and Mads Hansen team up for this one. Freddie Lindgren going for 4 out of 4. Mads Hansen is on 6+1 from his 3 rides. They take on, in yellow, Dimitri Berger, just awaiting to see. I suspect it's going to be Krzysztof Buskowski out for a second ride in succession in the white helmet as the rider replacement for Patrick Dudek. Yes, the 2-minute warning has not yet sounded, so I would imagine the referee tonight, Pegger Svedberg, is giving a little bit of extra time here to Krzysztof Buskowski just to refuel his machine, or possibly swap bikes ahead of a second ride in a row. (49-17) the score. Still 5 heats to go at the home of the Lions. Leonen 28 points to 38 down now on Eskilstuna Smedene, with 4 heats to go there, so it certainly looks as though the men from Eskilstuna are going through to meet Västervik in the grand final, as out onto track come Hansen and Lindgren. Will we see a perfect 15 heat advantages tonight for Västervik. Certainly firing a warning to Eskilstuna-Smedner ahead of the playoff final. Smedner's last league title was in 2022. They last won the playoffs. Confirmation that it is Krzysztof Puskowski in the white helmet, partnering Dimitri Berger in yellow. Västervik's last league title was 20 years ago, back in 2005. For Indianerna, the wait goes on. They haven't won the top flight title in Sweden since way back in 1991. Leonen, the reigning champions, will bow out by the look of things at the semi-final stage. Yes, Bartosz Szmazlik with just 5 points. I think he's playing it safe ahead of the final Grand Prix of the season on Saturday. He's just 3 points up on Brady Kurtz in the World Championship, of course. Freddie Lindgren and Robert Lambert will be in action at Fojens in Denmark as well. The track opened in the 70s by the legendary Ollie Olsen. So it's Puskowski off gate 1 in white. He's on 5 points, his second consecutive ride in this heat number 12. Mads Hansen on 6+1 off gate 2 in blue. Dimitri Berger, gate 3 in yellow. He's on 6 points. Off the outside in red, it's Freddie Lindgren going for 4 wins out of 4. 49-17 the score. This is heat number 12. We're underway. Hansen gets away well, so does Puskowski from the inside. Puskowski's got the lead into the first turn. Watch for Lindgren on the cutback. He's going to go by all 3 of them. Coming out of turn 2, fast Freddie Lindgren. No holding him back tonight. Now, can Mads Hansen do the same thing? It's Puskowski in second place. They're 3 wide for second into turn 1 for the second time. And Puskowski's not finished yet. He's having a go back again. Hansen's there on the inside, and Puskowski tries to slow Hansen down. It's worked. Now Hansen moves to block Dimitri Berger. There's a good race going on here for the minor placing. Hansen tries again up the inside through turns 1 and 2. Lindgren's away and gone. We've got much the best race of the night for second place here. Hansen up the inside again. The door's slammed in his face by Krzysztof Puskowski. Hansen now changes his line. He's going to go for the outside instead. But that could let the leave the door open for Berger. Now Berger attacks. He's getting aggressive, and he's relegated Hansen to last place. Could this be the first non-heat advantage of the evening? Hansen's going to try and fight back around the outside. Lindgren's going to win it, and it's a 3-all. There goes the perfect run of heat advantages for Västervik. Their first last place of the evening. Wow, what a race there for second place. Freddie Lindgren, having shot past everybody coming out of turn 2, missed all the excitements. He's unbeaten on 12 points. But that's a good effort by Indianerna there to fight through for second and third. Mads Hansen finishes at the back, so he's on 6+1 from his 4 programme rides. Confirm in a second which way round the riders in white and yellow finish. There was so much going on there. Lindgren last into the first turn, and by the back straight he was in front. No stopping the Grand Prix man tonight, but the 3 wide battle for second place was just beginning, with Hansen repeatedly trying to get through on the inside, but the outside line working stronger in this later part of the meeting. Puskowski getting around the outside of Hansen, closing the door into turn 3. That's a good ride by Krzysztof Puskowski. And there, Berger nearly lost it as Hansen moved out. He nearly took Berger out. So the Frenchman cut back again. And there's the equaliser, if you like, coming through turn 2. Excuse me, said the Frenchman. Puskowski locked up through the final turn, but he did take second place. So that puts Lindgren on to 12 points. Puskowski is on 7. Dimitri Berger moves on to 7+1. I imagine we'll see those 2 in the final race, heat 15. And Mads Hansen remains on 6+1. So the first shared heat of the night, 52 points to 20 is now the score on the night. And 111 to 51 on aggregates. Heat number 13 at the tapes then. Robert Lambert off the inside, looking to remain unbeaten. Next to him will be Luke Becker. He's on 4 points, the American in yellow. Gate 3 in blue, it's Jakob Torshäll. He's on 8+1, also on for a paid maximum potentially tonight. Completing the lineup, Rasmus Carlsen off the outside. He was substituted by Bartosz Banbor in heat 11, and he has yet to score. So will Lambert and Torshäll keep up their unbeaten runs? We could have 4 maximums tonight for Västervik. Rasmus Carlsen off the outside. 52-20 the score. The aggregate score could potentially go over 120 this evening for the hosts. This is heat number 13 of this playoff semi-final, heat 28 over the two legs. Away they go. Peach of a start from Lambert off the inside. Luke Becker's on the attack on Jakob Torshäll, who gets round the outside off turn 2. Away he goes down the back straight. Jakob Torshäll up into second place. Carlsen at the back, but he's going for the outside line. I don't think they'll catch Robert Lambert here. He'll be warming up ahead of the final Grand Prix of the season. He needs to get into that top 7 to try and guarantee himself a Grand Prix place for 2026. Jakob Torshäll up there in second place. Of course, Indianerna's absent number 1 tonight, Patrick Dudek, is on for a Grand Prix place as well, because he's looking all set to win the European Championship this year. Good to have Patrick back in the Grand Prix for 26. Lambert's from Torshäll. Becker in third place. Carlsen is at the back. It's going to be back to 5-1 winning ways for Västervik in this heat at number 13. Robert Lambert comes in to win it. He and Torshäll still unbeaten by an opponent. Third place goes to Luke Becker. Rasmus Carlsen at the back. No points for him tonight. So another 5-1 in the book then. It's now 57-21 here at the Helia Arena. And now 116-52 is the aggregate score. Robert Lambert and Jakob Torshäll celebrates. They're still on for paid maximums. Lambert on 11+1, Torshäll on 10+2. We've got the nominated races still to come. Freddie Lindgren's unbeaten. Bartosz Śmiektała down at reserve is unbeaten. Absolute massacre for Västervik this evening, for the unfortunate Indianerna to be on the receiving end. Jakob Torshäll round the outside of the rider in yellow, Luke Becker, early on to join Robert Lambert at the front of the field. That's 6 5-1s in 13 heats. And now we'll await the nominations coming up for heats 14 and 15. We'll bring those to you as soon as we're able, but it's 57-21 in favour of Västervik with 2 heats to go, 116-52 on aggregates. Two heats to go here in this playoff semi-final, and some of the lower scorers from tonight have been nominated for the first of our nominated races, heat number 14, because riding in red it's Anton Carlsen. He's on 3 points, getting his chance here to pick up a few extra points. Next to him in white, it's Jonathan Grahn, the Indianerna skipper, who has yet to score. Gate 3 in blue, it will be Jakob Torshäll. He's going for a maximum. He's on 10+2. And off the outside in yellow is Rasmus Carlsen, who has failed to score from 3 rides. So Indianerna team manager Peter Johansson giving these two at least a chance to pick up some points this evening. Poor Jonathan Grahn hasn't scored in either of the 2 legs this week. There you can see top 3 riders for Indianerna. Their 2 leading scorers, Berger and Buskovski, who we'll see in heat 15, have only scored 7 apiece. It does make for rather depressing viewing, it has to be said, for Indianerna fans. So we know one rider is going to go home with a paid maximum this evening. Bartosz Śmiektała has not been nominated, and he goes home with 8+1 from 3 rides. Can Jakob Torshäll become the second to confirm a maximum here? Certainly the favourite on paper in the blue helmet off gate 3. This is heat 14, 57-21 the score. Away we go. Anton Carlsen makes a good start from the inside. Torshäll gets out with him and takes the lead around the outside. And it's Carlsen in second place. Now, Grahn and the man in yellow, Rasmus Carlsen, no relation to Anton, trying to get some points at least here. And Rasmus going for the outside of his namesake. They're side by side, the 2 Carlsens for second. And Rasmus goes through up into second position. Anton Carlsen, he's had 3 third places already. Will it be 4? At least he's consistent this evening, if so. But Jonathan Grahn wants a point from this meeting as well. Trying to close up on the outside. He's getting closer to Anton Carlsen. I don't think they're going to catch Jakob Torshäll. I think he's going to be going home with a paid maximum tonight. All that remains to be seen is if Freddie Lindgren and Robert Lambert will do the same with a 5-1 in heat 15. All out of shape there, Anton Carlsen. Jonathan Grant could go through on the inside, not quite. Torshäll is being reeled in by Rasmus Carlsen, to give him his credit, but Torshäll takes the win. It's a paid maximum for him. We didn't see who crossed the line for third place there, but I think Anton Carlsen will have held on. We'll confirm that in a second, but Jakob Torshäll takes the win, and he finishes with a 5-ride paid maximum, 13 plus 2. Good fight back there by Rasmus Carlsen. He'll at least go home with 2 points tonight. We'll confirm who was third in a moment. We didn't see the battle for third come over the line. But Jakob Torshäll is the second rider to celebrate a paid maximum this evening. It could be 4. I can't remember the last Speedway meeting I saw anywhere where 4 riders scored a maximum for one team in the same meeting. So we'll confirm the result in a second. We know that Jakob Torshäll has won it. Full credit to Rasmus Carlsen there, round the outside of his namesake Anton Carlsen, and then the battle between the two number 6s. There's the mistake from Anton Carlsen coming into turn 2. And I think he held on for third place over the line. Yes, that is confirmed. So third place does go to Anton Carlsen. He finishes with 4 points, and no points for Jonathan Grant. So that's a 4-2 from heat at number 14. And the home side go past the 60 mark. It is 61-23 now. And they hit 120 on aggregate, 120 to 54. The aggregate score in favour of Västervik. Heat number 15 then. The inside gate will be Krzysztof Buskowski in white. He's partnered by Dimitri Berger in yellow. 7 and 7 plus 1 respectively. And well, all that remains then, Freddie Lindgren and Robert Lambert going for paid maximums and full maximums. Freddie Lindgren's unbeaten, 12 points, 4 wins out of 4. Robert Lambert is on 11 plus 1, beaten only by his teammate Mads Hansen in heat 1. If they take a 5-1 here, we will have the remarkable situation of 4 riders unbeaten by an opponent. Freddie Lindgren also has tonight's fastest race time, 56.4 seconds in heat 6. That's over a second off Nicky Pedersen's track record from 2018 of 55.1. Can tell you it's 32 to Leonen, 40 to Eskilstuna Smedena. So the Blacksmiths are going through to the playoff final. They will beat Västervik. First leg coming up next Tuesday night at the same time of 7 p.m. Swedish time, 6 p.m. UK time. All that remains then, can Lambert and Lindgren go through the card for a second evening in a row? They were unbeaten away from home last night. Robert Lambert won 5 out of 5. Lindgren got 14 plus 1 last night. Taking on Buskowski, we know how aggressive he is off gate 1. And Dimitri Berger in yellow. The final heat of this playoff semi-final second leg is underway. Decent start by Buskowski. He leads the way into the first turn. Lindgren in the middle. Lambert hung out to dry slightly on the outside. Now Buskowski leads the way. We haven't had any race winners for the visitors tonight. Can Buskowski upset the apple cart here in heat number 15 and defeat Lambert and Lindgren? This is a surprise so far. Something finally for the Indianerna fans to cheer about. But here comes the man in blue, ruthless Robert Lambert around the outside. Through he goes into the lead. And now can Fast Freddy do the same thing? Up there in second place is Krzysztof Buskowski. He has ridden very hard indeed tonight. He's tried so hard for Indianerna. Freddie Lindgren trying to close in. I don't think he's going to get there, though. He's about 4 or 5 bike lengths behind as they go around the final lap. It's going to be a win for Robert Lambert in blue. He's going to complete a paid maximum. Buskowski, though, is going to hang on for second. He spoils Freddie Lindgren's party. Lindgren finishes back in third place and ends on 13 points, but 3 maximums tonight for Västervik. Robert Lambert finishes with 14 plus 1. Full credit to Krzysztof Buskowski. He has ridden so hard tonight to try and provide at least some resistance for Indianerna. We end it with 2 4-2s in a row, an incredible total of 14 heat advantages from 15 heats tonight for the home side. And they win by 65 points to 25. That's an aggregate score of 124 for Västervik, 56 to Indianerna. Robert Lambert wheelies his way round in celebration. We'll give you the individual scorers in just a moment. Well, don't bet against Västervik for the league title when the playoff final against Eskilstuna kicks off next Tuesday evening. Full credit to Krzysztof Puskowski, made a great start there in white. We never really saw Dimitri Berger. Freddie Lindgren initially leading the chase. Lambert went for the outside and it worked. Lindgren keeping a slightly tighter line for most of the way there, and it didn't work for the Swedish champion. (4-2) from our final heat of the night. All that remains then is to give you the final individual scores from this playoff semi-final second leg. For Västervik, Robert Lambert, 14+1, paid maximum. Mads Hansen scored 6+1 and was, unluckily for him, the only rider from the home side to score a last place. That was in heat number 12. 6+1 for the Dane. Freddie Lindgren scored 13. Tom Brennan 7+1. Jakob Torshäll 13+2, paid maximum. Anton Carlsen scored 4, and Bartosz Smektała from reserve a paid maximum 8+1. For Indianerna, it was rider replacement for Patrick Dudek at 1. Krzysztof Puskowski scored 9, riding well for little reward in the end. Rasmus Carlsen scored 2, Dimitri Berger 7+1, Luke Becker 5, Jonathan Grahn no score from either leg of this semi-final, and Bartosz Banbor scored 2. Well, with 2 heats to go at Gisław Edleonen 35, Eskilstuna 43, so it will be Västervik versus Eskilstuna in the playoff final. Final score here tonight of Västervik 65, Indianerna 25, 124 to 56 on aggregates. That does wrap up the action from here at the Helia Arena. We'll join you next Tuesday for the first leg of the playoff final. Venue to be announced hasn't been decided yet. Where we will see the first leg take place. But certainly the two strongest sides this season have come through into what will be a wonderful playoff final. Västervik versus the Blacksmiths. I can't wait for next Tuesday night when we get the first leg underway. That does wrap up our coverage this evening. Thank you very much indeed for watching. Final score here tonight, Västervik 65, Kumla Indianerna 25.
Vi är ju fullständigt chanslösa, så är det ju. Det fattas ju 2 stycken som också är snabba och hittar rätt. Det är ju liksom inte bara